This is Let Me See What You Smoking. We're in the Levels Part 2, up in Barclays Market, right around the Barclays Center. And we're in New York City, how we do things. And we got none other than DC's finest, DC Scroger in the house, talking about one of the best cultivators of the East Coast, teaching knowledge on how to educate on how to how to cultivate organic cultivation, indoor, outdoor, shit, the whole 9 yards. The man knows it all. Brother, it's an honor to have you here, part of the show. How does it feel to be here in New York City?
Hey, yo, thanks for having me, man. It's wonderful, man. The Big Apple, where land of the haze, good boys. Even tonight, super lit in here. Reminds me of some years ago in DC, how we used to get down. And, it's one of those things that legalization is what brought me to New York. Of course, the plant and the opportunities. So, bringing out genetics, teaching people how to fish and be self-sufficient if they want to grow or not. Imploring that this is the business of canna, so let's incorporate one business, be mindful of the name, and go swinging for the fences, We all need to jump in the pond, and one ripple, meaning you, affects the whole pond. But if we all jump in, we can make waves on the shore. And that's what time it is right now. Even tonight and all over New York, and for that matter, the East Coast, the cannabis community and the cannabis culture is live and thriving. Where it once was dormant, I would say. I wouldn't even say it was non-existent, just dormant.
Brother, talk to me about your genetics and how you got into that.
The genetics,
and the cultivation, your origins.
Well, me growing and being around this plant, it's never been taboo to my family or myself. So I've never been taught that the plant wasn't of medicinal value. So it wasn't a taboo subject or thought. First experiences with the plant would be my uncles, my mom smoking. I'm from England, so Moroccan blonde hash is a term that the world knows because of very few people, smugglers out of Morocco. Hashish is a prevalent form of cannabinoid consumption around the world. Today, cultivating genetics and making sure that genetics are pure and tried, not just a watered down variation of something else, is important. Cannabinoids, taste and flavors is how we process the CB1 receptor, the cannabinoids to your CB1 receptor in the brain. So taste and flavor have a direct correlation to feelings and emotions. So how I got into genetics was I had a back condition, car accident that required multiple surgeries, 6 surgeries for my back, and I was a heavy user of hashish. So instead of the oxys and the pills, I was smoking heavy hash oil and RSO and holy anointed oil. So I was using cannabis before it was legit to heal myself, because in my family it wasn't taboo. So cultivating, I got into cultivating because of the need for my back and the sometimey nature of what a cannabis transaction was, I couldn't sometime with my health, understanding that the plant was now a medicinal value for me, not just for everyone else. Shit. I used to live in Panama, the country. I got kicked out the country for weed when I was 16. Almost cost my pops his whole career. Yeah.
What did your father do?
My father was in the military.
The military?
So, yeah. So, in Panama, I lived there after the Noriega's invasion. So, like right after. So, his people still ran the country. So, it's like quanta to liberty. You know, not like how much money you got to go free. So, cannabis was $30 for a bottle, which was a brown paper sack of cannabis trees stuffed. So it was about a pound. Like your little lunch bag, yeah, $30. Or the most convenient packaging of it all, I still haven't seen it till this day. In Panama, you know what a tortellini is? The actual pasta tortellini.
Oh yeah, tortellini. Yeah.
You know how it's like folded in on itself.
It's like folded into itself. Yeah.
All right. So think of a banana leaf, like an empanada leaf paper that empanadas are wrapped up on. Mm-hmm. Think of that, and a sheet of it with a dub of cannabis, right? And it wrapped up like a tortellini, and then you rip it open, and you can roll up 2 J's out of the banana leaf. Packaging of its finest. This is early 90s.
Natural shit.
Yeah.
Super natural.
That was 50 cent. 50 cent for a ball, we used to call them.
So how you ended up in DC?
My pops is from DC.
Okay.
I'm originally from England.
Okay.
So,
where in England?
London.
Okay, you're from London. Okay, shout out to London.
Yeah, South London, Battersea. My family lives in Oxford. My mom's originally from Glasgow. So, yeah, I was born in a little town outside of London. So it's hash. I'm one of Frenchy Cannoli's proteges.
Rest in peace.
Studies. So it's about traditional hashish. So in order to have a traditional palate for people's ailments, you need to have multiple genetics. You need to have a plethora of multiple genetics and not just a few. And then you need to know how each one of those genetics actually grows in condition if you're going to ever scale up. We're not talking tents and little homes and basements. We're talking full-on facilities. So how I got known is when legalization came forth in DC, I chose to basically give it away, bro. I won an edibles competition. With that, I chose. They wanted the edibles, but the law didn't allow me to sell, and had no pathway. This is early on. Even the I-71 and what you know of that today, the bags, we made that up. I had Canna Line print those bags for I-71 compliant to make us look like we were legit. And it was all made up, smoke and mirrors. But the treats, I gave them away because I saw statistically that we were still getting locked up for the plant, and that must have been because people didn't know the law. So what I do, I impact my community. I give it away. One of that was to go give it away in front of the jail and in front of the police station that I got locked up before for trees.
That's ghetto, man. I mean, that's you gotta have balls for that, bro.
Yeah, well, the law allowed me to do it. So the activism is like where in DC how we legalized was through activism, and it wasn't about like trapping trees. That was about patients' access, because there really wasn't any, and that's how we got the law changed. So and the evolution of is because this is free commerce, man. It's like opportunity, and people are feeding their families wholeheartedly. I teach people how to fish, self-sufficiency. So how much cannabis do you and your circle consume in 4 months? You tell me the number, I tell you the equipment to grow the number. Right? And then what are you seeking? Because nobody recreationally uses cannabis. Everybody meds up.
Talk to me about the consulting and the consulting firms and all that you've been working on.
Blue and yellow consultants.
Blue and yellow consulting. Yeah.
Everything with me is blue and yellow. So what blue and yellow make?
It's blue and yellow.
What the colors make?
What it means? I don't know what it means.
What blue and yellow make? The colors.
Well, blue to me is
blue and yellow. The colors together. What they make?
Oh, they make green?
Green.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's all blue and yellow with me. Right? Then blue be water, right? Right. We could change how we consume and how we acquire water, right? And then the yellow is the sun. So water and the sun make life. So it's all about a sustainable future. Right? So with this plant, and most people, we were talking about cannabis today, I'm more astute on the $1 trillion industry of hemp than cannabis, so nobody asks me those questions. It's the science behind this is, and if you profess to be a business, you profess to be an expert, that means that you are the expert in the business you profess. So if you're not, then you're just playing. And people will check you. So the consulting is what holds me up. It's the knowledge. And what I've done is I use cannabis as if you could go back to 2000. It's 50 years of hip hop, right? Let's go back to 80s, 1980, 82. If you could master in 1982 the transition of how hip hop is today, meaning the production, the media, right, the origin, and be able to produce it, then today, who would you be if you could master it in 88?
You're a legend, bro, a pioneer, bro.
How would you?
You would be a LL Cool J. Well, yeah, you could be like a LL Cool J, be a KRS-One.
So then, how would you be able to do that? You could only go and ask those that created, and I asked everybody, and nobody told me no. So I've been to the king's houses, the farms, the largest farms in the country, and for that matter, the world. I get invited to, and I go. And what I'm about is, how can we make this more sustainable? How can we take this to where I know exactly how much water a plant needs, period. And then when we're making water, now we can evaporate the air and make up to 55 gallons a day. So 2 or 3 of those machines, rather than using dehumidifiers, can now sustainably take us off the water grid and system, right? Boom. It's sustainable. That's what I'm on. That's the next level is.
Next level. So I see now. Okay, so talk to me about your time working for. I think it was for the OCM. I mean, or was it not for the OCM? But you was gonna teach some. Talk to me about that.
New Jersey.
It wasn't
laws,
okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
We changed the law in New Jersey where there's a legacy license for all trappers and underground growers, a no questions asked license. They're never gonna ask you a question. And they got a whole business acumen program for you, the academy. So what that is $100,000. Yeah, grant money, no doubt. We got them to take 50 million that was supposed to be exercise tax money. Exercise tax money from the medical program that was supposed to be for education that they never used, sitting in somebody's coffer. And we got them to transfer that over for an educational program. So they're going to teach you how So what it is about this industry and all these jobs that people hoopla and say, well, where's the professionals that's going to teach the people how to grow, how to sustain them? How? Where's the bud tender that knows that, like, this is a concierge service now? Let's talk about old world banking and that type of service, not selling you the highest THC. That has nothing to do with your effect of cannabis, the highest THC. If that was the matter, you would if you're a drinker, then the only thing you drink is Everclear and moonshine, then nothing else. Don't tell me about anything else, because you drink the highest, you smoke cannabis based on highest THC. It's an entourage effect. Cannabinoids and terpenes and flavonoids have that effect. So the reason that you don't like something isn't indica sativa hybrid, because most things are all hybrids today. I brought one of the truest hybrid sativas that exist in the world, Chocolate 95.5 sativa. Chocolate Thai crossed with cantaloupe haze. And people say, I want a sativa. If I let her go an extra 4 or 5 days in flower, she's night. Total opposite.
Yeah. So we back with DC Scroger. We were talking about New Jersey, legalization, homegrown problem. Talk to it. What is your take on that, my brother?
New Jersey's got one of the best programs for a licensed applicant. They have an academy. They have a legacy license program for a legacy operator. That's anybody that's been trapping it out or anybody that's been growing on the underground. There's a no questions asked license for you. Now, I couldn't get your amnesty, and the other 6 of us that did this legalization effort, we couldn't get you amnesty. We tried, but they'll never ask you any questions about what you did in the past. So all you have to demonstrate is that you can cultivate, that you can put together a business plan. And then there's an academy that is for any applicant that would teach you the business acumen that you need to know. Meaning that, just paying taxes is a quarterly thing in corporate America, not a once a year thing. You know what I'm saying? Sales taxes, understanding the cannabis sales taxes, exercise taxes, what is the taxes that's owed for municipalities. All of these things, regulatory, is what the commission put forward in New Jersey, and now it's being implemented. What's slowing the draw for New Jersey is that the municipalities, not the commission. The home grow push today is a little late. It's like the time to be on home grow was the time to be with Jessica, Leo, and Tahir, Nadir, and so many others that I'm negating to mention right now, but the activists that were on the front lines to get the legalization effort put forth to begin with. The time to be screaming home grow was then. However, the news before the news is this. New Jersey's commission has total autonomy over the medical program. So if it's not written in legislation, they're able to regulate it into law. So if it's not written that they can't do it, they can. So the home grow for medical patients, that's your play. Home grow for medical, they'll get their home grow as long as you got a medical card. That's voting for a ballot referendum to come forward again after you've already voted in the midst of people trying to get licensing because you didn't get on the ball 4 years ago.
From the beginning, yeah.
Right. It's kind of late to the party, but without legalization, without home grow, it doesn't really exist. And that's to give the people the right to grow. to produce this plant organically. You have to produce it at their home if they choose to. The same way the supermarket sells tomatoes, we can grow them at home, but we still go to tomatoes. We go get tomato cans and tomato paste and tomatoes from the grocery store also.
What are your thoughts on the New York legalization? The shithole that we have here.
It's not. I don't look at it as a shithole.
Why I say that is because of the quality of the work that is put out.
That is all MSO bullshit, and the hemp licensee switch over. That's what's in the program now. That does not represent what New York recreational cannabis is, and that won't be in existence truly until they give out the licenses that they're giving out now. Judge the actual recreational market 3-4 years from now, when the real growers got up and running and be able to put out a quality product, not on small batches, but on scale enough so that we can provide for quite a few, not just a select few, and that's where we're at. The legalization, the micro license is the best license there is. That's the best license in the world. That's why I moved up here. No jokes. The micro license and to help New Jersey. So, and help New York in whatever effort that it needs to be done. I'm for the win, for the have-nots to win. And what I do is I look at the legalization and look at legislation and look at what's not in it. So what's not in it gives us wiggle room. What you see in New York today is a repeat of everywhere in which that legalization happens. What happens is this. When we say legalization, people think free for all, everything goes. And then there's a time when legalization, the legislation, has to be written into regulation, which is a cusp window. And the window for DC has been since 2014, up until this past year, right? Now they've incorporated a new medical program which encompasses the shops. So if you had a shop, you could, an unregulated operator had a chance, it still has a chance until the 31st to apply for a license in DC. They're giving them an opportunity. The production that is needed to actually supply a market, I can only produce X amount of cannabis, and for me to maintain the quality in which that I need to maintain. And with a micro license or a small facility, I can only produce X amount. The micro gives me 2,000 or 4,000 actual clients that I can service. That's it. Now I have an opportunity to help and manage and run other people's facilities. So, but that's on a operational agreement. But I can only produce and service a certain amount of people. And this is a service industry. If we focus on that rather than focusing on the world, we'll be able to actually hone in and quantify who our clients are, who those 2,000 or 4,000 people are, period.
It's a lot of loopholes and a lot of shit. Like when you get a license, there's also a lot of shit that you gotta follow a lot of guidelines that doesn't give you the freedom in order to.
Oh, you ain't gonna run shit like a dictatorship. That's another thing about like understanding that this is a business. It's not a hustle. It's a business. You have to. The mindset has to change, or you'll jeopardize the business. You will. If you've been OG number one in your crew, and you go after this license and you get the license, look, the ego is what makes it fails us. So not to be looked at as that guy, right? Rather than like, I can't get you those 50 elbows. I really can't. There's no way of me like sneaking this out of my 360 degree cambered up facility. You know?
Yo, talk to me about the homegrown cannabis and all that. What you doing, man? Teaching all about the homegrown and the organic cultivation.
Yeah, bro. It's all about organics with me. It's just water, molasses, occasional microbrew tea. Once you build the soil.
So let me see what you're smoking. When we back, we're in the levels part 2. Right here with DC Scroger, we're finishing it up. Talking about organic growing. We're talking about the cultivation, all the genetics, all the legalization. The man has done it all. The man has done it all. We got a few. We just gave out the mystery genetics to a winner. One of the raffle winners of the contestants that came through and supported, you know. And brother, how do you see the world of cultivation in the next few years?
I think that as the science is being unlocked over this plant, people are being more aware of what they're putting in their body. Kind of like 25, 30 years ago with vegan and a plant-based diet. You couldn't find anywhere at the time that was totally organic vegan restaurants. Now, if you don't have a vegan option on the menu, you're obsolete. I believe organics is the true way and a true representation of this plant. The plant was undisturbed for 10,000 years without our interference. We're not smarter than nature. So synthetics and how the plant is grown and what the true representation of the terpene profile is recreating nature. And that's in a sustainable practice. So organic growing of our own vegetables and foods is going to be prevalent even in urban environment. I teach people how to build their own soil so they make the necessary amendments and the necessary requirements within the soil itself for most and all plants to thrive, not just cannabis, though we tailor it to a cannabis short flowering species of plant. So the cultivation itself, the cultivator now is coming out the shadows. More of us will come out. There's many very skilled cultivators that haven't even shown their face yet. Not only in New York, for the country for that matter. This wasn't a time in which that we were seen. I'm used to being seen because I've been at this for so long, out of DC and around the country, and around the world for that matter. But with cultivation, cannabis and hemp, regenerative farming, showing people a new way of farming. Myself, I'm like gun-ho on off-the-grid farming. And that's the goal and the plan for New Jersey, is a completely off-the-grid sustainable farm. So to show people what's possible. And everyone believes they have the fire and the pressure or the best. And that's subjective. Even in competition, I've judged High Times World Cups, I've judged all types of competitions all around this country. And the difference between first and fifth is fractional points. It's a preference. As long as you are getting the relief in which that you seek with this plant, that's the only thing that really matters. Now there is levels to all those that talk about they got that pressure and that fire, and they know it. When the real fire shows up, and your reaction to that real fire is that of a childlike reaction. The oohs, the ahs, the looking of at the J like it's something foreign. Then you know that you ain't been smoking. You might have been smoking mids your whole life. But as long as those mids are getting you the relief that you seek when you enjoy this plant, that's what truly matters.
That's a fact, bro. Well stated.
The cultivator himself or herself will be highlighted here. We are no longer going to sit back and be the afterthought of a culture that is built off of our work. And we're not going to be devalued on the quality and cultivation in the micro grows where everything is hands-on. Everything is, I touched every piece that is involved with the plant, and then I process and make hashish and RSO, holy anointed oil, and everything else that you can make with the plant other than consume it by combustion.
What's the future looking for DC Scroger?
The future. Right now I'm in a pause with the license here in New York. I've got a license lotto ball situation in Maryland. I have a few managerial agreements for blue and yellow out of New York, DC, and New Jersey. The future is canna and hemp. The future is continuing to teach. The only way really I can continue to progress in my teaching is have a facility in which to teach out of so the students have hands-on in facility on scale. Though my students are capable now, I have about 25 to 30 mini-me's that people don't even know about. It's like a Voltron situation.
It's dope, bro. It's dope.
But I've been teaching for 10 years.
Okay.
Same methods, same principles, and just laying foundation. And then you have to apply the knowledge. So regardless of what I say, you have to apply it. And that's where knowledge is lost, with the application of it. So no matter how many people I teach, it's only a fractional few that will actually get the light bulb to go off and understand that this is actually like money does grow on trees. It really does. And if you understand the genetics and where to procure them from, and to understand tissue culture, so you can secure the genetic, you're a mini library. Later on this year, I'm doing a project where I'll be introducing my own library of tissue culture genetics, where you can get the whole genetic library to come to your house in a tube, right? In a little vial tube, a little chemistry tube in biology class and that little test tube of a tissue culture, and it will be tried and true meristem tissue culture of my library. So
That's innovative.
I might release that even on the library itself and the NFT of the library, showing you, like, I might do something real crazy with it. Just
that hasn't been done.
Yeah, like when you're the first at something, like, there are no mistakes. There's only learning experience. And
that's a fact.
That's something that everybody should understand, that with Canna, wherever you are, here in New York, outside of the city, all around the country, when you're the first, you're probably the black sheep your whole life. Now you're the first innovator, canna entrepreneur that there is around you. And when there's no example around you, there are no mistakes. There's only learning experience. There was nobody to guide you along the way, so don't get frustrated in the little big hiccups. Believe me, I've been told no only by the government. Nobody in Canada has told me no, but the government told me no. No for 2 licenses out of DC and no for a license in Maryland. But it wasn't my time. And hindsight is, you're looking at it, I might have been frustrated with the industry sitting right now. Being that if you're relying on somebody else's love of the plant for your business might fail just because of somebody else's love. They cut corners, bottom line dollars. You should be able to control the plant from seed to sale. And if you can do so, then you can control the brand. One thing about branding is you should control the brand, and whatever brand that you have right now, I want to speak directly to you right now. Whatever brand you have right now, you need to protect that brand. You need to protect that logo. Make sure that you go get your catchphrases and your phrases incorporated and go pay $275 and get a trademark. If you cannot trademark the words in letters, trademark the words in the logo itself, and then it's protected that way. Simple. $275. Don't pay an attorney. Protect yourself, protect your brand, because like you have seen in this game, people steal other people's ideas and genetics and whole business concepts. So protect yourself. This is the business of canna. And that's one thing that I would leave you guys with is, this is the business of canna. Protect yourself. Protect yourself intellectually. Make sure you get that trademark for your logo. Make sure that you don't spend time trying to brand a product in which that you should market. There is a difference between branding and marketing. So, yo, bro, it's
too much gems,
bro.
Too much gems, bro. It was a pleasure, bro. DC Scroger.
I appreciate it anytime, bro.
For real, my brother. Man. Yo, I would like to see you more here in New York and throwing courses out here and like teachings and shit, because you got too much knowledge to be spoken and to learn from. You understand that?
I am doing a class coming up.
Okay, that's good.
Because of New York and the licensing situation here, it'll be like 6 months before anything really happens in my end, in Maryland and New York. So I'm doing another 22-week comprehensive hands-on self-sufficiency class. So we're actually basing it out of DC though. So that's because I did the 1,000 Clone, 1,000 Home hands-on class for New York. But I do have some things in the works where you don't have to like be with me to learn from me, right? So, you know,
online courses.
Yeah, using the AI, using the technology that exists that we have today, and using it to where that maybe there's an animated me teaching you everything that the course itself, and you can watch it and do it at your own pace. Or when you have a problem in your garden, you can go to like that, and it'll show you that, right? Like instantly, not like, we're at the day today is with service, we require it to be at a certain rate, and even the service industry. One more gem.
Oh yeah.
Delivery service. If you ain't got an app like Uber Eats, DoorDash, you're gonna be obsolete.
Word.
Because that's what's expected. The pandemic forced that. The pandemic forced me being able to see you come as a requirement. you should get the app developer a piece of the pie so he or she is part of the team. Because if you ever sell, it's the app in which that they want. And if you don't own the intellectual property of that app, it's really not valued. Wow. So there's another gem for you. Make sure you get the app builder a piece of the pie, right? Pay him to do the app and then give him a percentage of the business. Like, for real, it can be fractional, but percentage. Make sure he's part of the team because Weaver can't give you that.
Updates too, man. You gotta update that
Yeah,
all the time,
yeah,
word.
that's what I'm saying. So, if you when you go to sell things like that, they ask you the intellectual property owner. People say yes, but you don't know how to change the color. Like,
word.
Then there's no value in you selling it. I'm looking for the guy who can change the color. So make sure he or she is part of the team.
Word.
If you're a delivery service and you're thinking how you're going to be Uber Eats or Lyft or something like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo, you already know what it is. Let me see what you're smoking. DC Scroger. It's a special interview in the Levels Part 2. Shout out to Package Buzz. Shout out to the Bowery Socialites for powering this episode. It's epic. We here in Brooklyn. We learned so much from DC Scroger. Brother, thank you so much for being part of the show.
No doubt,
and I'm
man.
looking forward to going and witnessing your teachings. And you already know, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
I'm going to open source this information so that if I'm here or if I'm not, it's going to be available. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. The legacy.
Yeah.
Thank you. You already know. This Let Me See What You're Smoking, the Levels Part 2 with DC Scroger interview. Peace. You already know.
Peace.